Hello and welcome to another Juche Gang e-reading. Today I will be reading Kim Jong-il's Socialism is the Life of Our People from a talk with the senior officials at the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, November 14th, 1992, a time when socialism was facing unprecedented trials on the international arena. This talk was given to reaffirm the future of socialism and denounce the slanders and turnbacks that were taking place on the international arena. This reading will also mark a new chapter in the Juche Gang e-readings on analyzing the fall of socialism in Eastern Europe from a Juche-oriented standpoint. I will now begin. Over the recent years, the imperialists and reactionaries have been resorting to every scheme possible to stifle our country, which is advancing invariably, holding the banner of socialism under the leadership of the party and the leader. The more desperate the enemy is in his attempt, the higher we must hold the banner, crushing the enemy's counter-revolutionary offensive by means of revolutionary offensive. Although the imperialists and reactionaries are making desperate attempts to obliterate socialism on the earth, socialism is cherished as deep as ever in the hearts of the revolutionary people all over the world, and is advancing on its track. Socialism is the ideal of humanity, and that socialism achieves victory is the law of the development of history. No matter how desperately they attempt to stamp out socialism, the imperialists and reactionaries cannot reverse the tide of history. Today, the revolutionary people of the world, under the banner of the Pyongyang Declaration, are fighting resolutely to defend and advance the cause of socialism. The struggle for socialism is being waged not only in those countries where socialism has collapsed, but in the capitalist countries. It is doubtless that the maneuvering of the imperialists and reactionaries will be frustrated, and socialism will make an uninterrupted advance and emerge victorious in the long run by the struggle of the revolutionary parties and peoples of the world. With an unshakable faith in the victory of socialism, we must approach the present situation on an optimistic point of view and staunchly defend the cause of socialism. Socialism is the life of our people. Whether our people remain alive or die, i.e., whether they lead an independent and creative life as masters of the state and society, or become the slave of others, getting maltreatment and contempt, depends on whether they defend socialism or not. As the song goes, socialism defended means victory, and socialism abandoned means death. Whatever the difficulties and trials, we must never abandon the socialism we chose and are building by our own efforts. In order to defend and advance the cause of socialism, we must apply the Juche idea in all fields of revolution and construction in a thoroughgoing way. The Juche idea is the ideological foundation of socialism, and the only guiding ideology of revolution and construction. Our style of socialism, centered on the masses, is based on the Juche idea and embodies this idea. it is Juche-oriented socialism. Socialism devoid of ideological foundation and perfect guiding ideology cannot be called genuine socialism, and it might be frustrated, unable to check the anti-socialist schemes of the imperialists and reactionaries. This is shown graphically by the lesson of those countries where socialism was frustrated and capitalism has been restored. Our socialism is advancing victoriously, unperturbed, amidst the continuing vicious moves of the imperialists and reactionaries, just because it is based on the Juche idea and guided by this idea. While socialism is the life of our people, the Juche idea is the life of our socialism. We must staunchly defend the Juche idea from the infiltration of bourgeois reactionary ideological trends of all hues, steadily develop it, and apply it in a thoroughgoing way in all fields of revolution and construction. The course of building socialism is the course of applying the Juche idea, and socialist and communist societies are those modeled on that idea. The great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung, authored the idea in his early years and has applied it in all fields of revolution and construction with all consistency. He leads revolution and construction and lives his life in our own way. The anecdote concerning the color of suiting illustrates graphically how firm his Juche-oriented stand is. Once our officials suggested to him that he have his suit made of the material of a certain color, saying that suits made of such material were now in fashion. He told them that fashion should follow him, not the other way around. We must cherish the Juche idea as our faith and apply it in all sectors of revolution and construction thoroughly, so as to add further luster to our style of socialism centered on the masses, the Juche-oriented socialism. In order to defend socialism and exalt its brilliance, we must further consolidate the single-hearted unity of the leader, the party, and the masses. The leader, the party, and the masses form a body in which they share their destiny. Their firm unity, based on ideology, will, morality, and obligation, is a guarantee for the invincibility of the cause of socialism. We must rally all people around the party and the leader more firmly, thus incessantly consolidating the might of the single-hearted unity. In defending socialism in the present times, it is of great importance to check the abuses of every description the imperialists and bourgeois restorationists are leveling against socialism, and bring the righteousness and advantage of the socialist cause home to party members and other working people. The imperialists and those who have restored bourgeois society are abusing socialism, calling it totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative commanding. This is illogical, reactionary sophistry devoid of theoretical foundation. What are the bourgeois restorationists themselves doing now? Those who are abusing socialism. They have disbanded communist parties and forced everything on the lower echelons by invoking presidential decrees. They are slinging mud at socialism, and if we fail to lay bare the reactionary nature of their theory, some people, not prepared ideologically, might become skeptical of socialism. We must disclose the reactionary nature of their quote-unquote theory and equip party members and other working people with the socialist ideology. I am going to write and make public in the near future a treatise criticizing their abuses of socialism. The sector of theoretical information, too, must produce many articles that lay bare the reactionary nature of the theory of the imperialist and bourgeois restorationists against socialism, and explain the truthfulness and advantages of the socialist ideology and theory. Our party expounded all theoretical problems arising in the practice of the socialist revolution and socialist construction, including the problem of the three revolutions, ideological, technological, and cultural, the problem of achieving oneness of the mind of the leader, the party, and the masses, also the problem of properly combining centralism and democracy and strengthening the people's democratic dictatorship. When we reveal the reactionary nature of the abuses of socialism hurled by the imperialists and bourgeois restorationists, as we stand on the ideas and theories of our party put forward in the socialist revolution and socialist construction, we will be able to greatly encourage the people who are making an effort to check the imperialists and reactionaries' machinations and defend socialism. We must also write articles on the limitations of the theories authored by the earlier writers of the classics, so as to give our party members and other working people a correct understanding of the originality and superiority of the socialist ideology and theory of our party. Marxism-Leninism is a revolutionary ideology created reflecting the requirements of the revolutionary practice of the working class in the days of pre-monopoly capitalism and imperialism. History has advanced far, and the times have changed since then. We are now in a new era of independence, when the popular masses, the masters of history, and their own destiny, carve out history and their destiny independently and creatively. The authors of Marxism had no experience of building socialism, and it is the same with Lenin. Owing to the limitations of the conditions of their time and their practical experiences, the socialist theories put forward by the authors of Marxism-Leninism could not go, in some cases, beyond the limit of prediction and supposition. For all their limitations, we must not take a nihilistic approach to Marxism-Leninism or cavil at the authors. We must recognize the exploits of Marx, Engels, and Lenin performed for mankind and respect them. Thanks to the creation of Marxism-Leninism, socialist theory developed from fantasy to science. The working class was able to have a guiding ideology for the first time in history, and they could struggle vigorously against capital and for class emancipation, national liberation, and socialism. Respecting the authors of the theories is an obligation on us, in view of the principle of the juniors of the revolution respecting their seniors. When writing articles about the limitations of Marxism-Leninism, we must not fail to explain the exploits their creators accomplished. Only then can we give a correct understanding of Marxism-Leninism to the people and deal a blow to the imperialists and bourgeois restorationists who are caviling at this ideology. In order to correctly write about the limitations of the theories expounded by Marxism-Leninism, one must have a good knowledge of the originality and superiority of the revolutionary ideology of our party, the Juche idea. The Juche idea is an original idea and perfect revolutionary theory of communism the great leader created, reflecting the requirements of the new era of history, the era of independence. If we clarify the originality and superiority of the Juche idea effectively, then the limitations of the theories of Marxism-Leninism will be revealed of their own accord. The officials in the field of theoretical information should study the Juche idea hard and learn in depth its originality and superiority. They should also study classic works like The Capital, also known as Das Kapital, to become well informed of Marxism-Leninism. Songs of high ideological and artistic qualities should be created in large number. Such songs instill faith in the cause of socialism and strong will in the hearts of the people, encouraging them to greater efforts. Don't Advance, Night of Pyongyang is one of these songs. This song will encourage the soldiers of the Korean People's Army and our people even in days of war. I still feel strength welling up whenever I listen to the song. A man must know how to appreciate the songs. There cannot be life divorced from song. In the days of war, not only songs, but also broadcasting encourage the soldiers and people. During the Second World War, Yuri Ledovin, an announcer of the Soviet Union, broadcast the reports of the Supreme Headquarters, rousing the Soviet soldiers and people to victory in the war. He became famous for his broadcasting. Furious, Hitler ordered that Levitin should be the first to be killed after the occupation of Moscow. Our announcers, too, do their job efficiently. They will do their share as they should in time of war. These days, the sector of the art of music has produced many songs of high ideological and artistic qualities. Don't Advance, Night of Pyongyang is an excellent song for its high ideological and artistic qualities. So is If Our Mother Party Wishes. The text of the latter song is written well. In the future, the musical arts sector must create many songs which become national treasure, with high ideological and artistic qualities. Songs of this kind are not something special. They are those the leader and the people enjoy singing. Except for Ponchanbo Electric Ensemble, the artistic organizations now fail to produce such songs in a great number. These organizations must produce many songs of national treasure with material based on life. In order to create these songs, one must make it a habit to produce them, to be pleasant with the material derived from life. One cannot produce excellent songs if one proceeds from a subjective desire to create songs of national treasure. If songs describe life and people enjoy singing them, they become national treasures. To achieve this, creative workers must absorb themselves in the lives of the people and get themselves fully acquainted with the people's aspirations and demands. Songs must be portrayed well. If a song is not portrayed well, it cannot prove its worth, no matter how excellent it is. That's the end of this reading. For our next e-reading, I will be reading the treatise he mentioned about criticizing the abuses of socialism from the renegades and traitors of socialism, the bourgeois restorationists. That's all for this episode. Check out our Facebook and Twitter pages for more Juche and DPRK content, which I will leave links to in the description of this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, so we can raise the revolutionary consciousness of the masses. And because I run solely on your motivation and encouragement. Red salute, Juche comrades!